That's the bottom line. You feel what I'm saying? You have to take control over who you are and the version of you that shines. And what does that look like? What type of mother are you? What type of mother, when your kids are grown, you have to start thinking about what kind of stories do you want your kids to tell? Because I used to tell some of the moms, like, when you think about it right now, if you stay in the condition you in, when you get grown, when your kids get grown, ice cream, oh baby, hey, the system, no, they're gonna be grown enough to read them reports. They're gonna be able to see that you bullshitted. They're gonna be able to see that you still was with a nigga that was beating your ass and keeping you away from them, and that you was choosing him. You feel what I'm saying? And when they able to read that and you standing eyeball to eyeball with them, ice cream won't do it. And sorry won't do it, because now they gonna have to live 10, 15, 20 years healing from the shit that you caused them, because you're responsible for that, because you made them. You created them. You're their mother. You get what I'm saying? Or the story could go something like this. Mom was messed up. Mom had this, that. But mom went and got her stuff together. And mom did this, and now this is where we are. Because your story gonna go one of two ways. You feel what I'm saying? And I would tell my parents what I'm telling you now. What kind of story? Because this is a fucked up part of your story. Mom, why you get us taken? Mom, what was you doing? Mom, why you was out there doing that? Oh, mom was immature. Mom made a lot of mistakes. Mom made mistakes on the type of man. Mom had low self-esteem. Baby, I'm sorry, but you know what? Mom started working on herself. Mom started working on herself. I'm sorry for putting you through that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. But on this day, mom turned it around. I stopped doing that. I stopped making excuses for why y'all wasn't with me, and I start taking responsibility. You get what I'm saying? Because then kids are very resilient, and they gonna love you regardless. But you don't want them angry and resentful, because they know all these nights that they laying in somebody else's bed. And it don't matter if it's your mama, if it's your sister, if it's a foster home, that's amazing to them. It don't matter. It doesn't change the fact that every day they go to bed and they walk through life knowing that there's a missing piece. They grew in your belly. You feel what I'm saying? So put those things at the forefront of your mind, that you say, if you're going to give your energy to anything, it's going to be, how do I get up out of this situation, and how do I learn? And be honest with yourself. If you addicted to the bullshit, say you addicted to the bullshit. Start learning how to detox from the bullshit. Start spending some time alone. Start spending some time reading things that you don't quite comprehend. Because those things, if you lean into them, you'll start eating them, and your appetite will change. You feel what I'm saying? Your appetite would change. Back in the day, I was so angry. If anybody said anything to me sideways, I was beating their ass. You couldn't tell that now. But I was out of control. Angry. Really hurt, right? In pain. But it comes out in anger. It comes out in making bad decisions. That's how it used to go. You feel what I'm saying? You hearing me, Taya? But I had to start leaning into things that I didn't understand, because I was too addicted to what I knew. And I knew what I wanted from my life. That I knew. I knew I wanted a great life. I knew I wanted a life that was worth living. I knew that I wanted to raise kids in a happy environment. I knew that I wanted to be happy. I just got to me last. You feel what I'm saying? I got to me last. I was horrible to myself. Somebody said, I remember being homeless years ago and turned my life around once I found out I was pregnant. That's beautiful. And I'm happy that you did that, Jamaican baddie. I'm happy that you did that. I'm happy that you hearing that you were pregnant made all the difference for you. I'm happy. You know, at the end of the day, I kept dreaming, but I kept doing the work. I kept going, sitting on somebody's couch, getting therapy, working through, understanding myself, understanding why I was making the decisions I was making. I wasn't prostituting my body, but I was prostituting my life in the form of every time I met somebody, all of a sudden I couldn't do anything for myself. I'm paying people's bills. I'm running. People need help in the middle of the night. Here I come. I'm leaving my house to go take care of somebody else's house. That don't make sense, right? But when you don't love yourself, when you disconnected from yourself, you do shit like that. You feel what I'm saying, Taya? So I was out there hoeing around, just not hoeing on my back. You know what I'm saying? I was exploiting myself because that's what exploitation is. For a small little gain. Demeaning yourself, degrading yourself. For what? Going and then people just taking everything I got. After a while, I realized that why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't people take every good thing you have? You giving it to them. But I didn't know how to operate in this world without being a people pleaser. I didn't know how to operate. I didn't know how to know if somebody loved me if I wasn't always doing stuff to make sure like you love me, you care about me, you my friend, you my family, you this, you that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I wanted friends that told me certain things that I wanted to hear. Nah, I really needed friends that was like, that's some bullshit. That's wrong. That's not cool. That's not becoming of you. That's not who you said you wanted to be. That's contrary to what you say. You say you want a good life. That don't look like good life to me. You feel what I'm saying? Start holding yourself accountable, because when you start holding yourself accountable, you start watching your whole life change, your circle change. You start watching that. I hear you talk about God. Really lean into that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just bring up God when it's convenient to talk about what other people doing. Seek God when you going out there before you making a decision. Is this a decision that God will be proud of? Start building that strength. Build that muscle. You're not going to be perfect. I can tell you right now, I've had a lot of successes, but I ain't perfect. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't perfect. You get what I'm saying? I ain't never going to be perfect. But I know how to be accountable. You know? And these people that are on here, they not on here showing their life. Like this person called Candy Michelle. Her life probably just as sad as it get. She probably on Section 8. She probably collecting food stamps too. But talking shit about somebody. You know what I'm saying? And with all that I have, I'm still not going to talk shit about you. You get what I'm saying? I'm not better than you. I'm not better than you. I'm just better than that. But I'm not better than you. Nobody's better than nobody. Is this making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to be better. I want to see you turn things around. I want to see you live a life worth living. You know?
Whew, I need to hear that. People don't understand what I go through behind closed doors. I would say, like, the hardest thing ever in my life is having to fight for my kids. Like, even my near-death situations, people don't understand. Some of these people, caseworkers, don't want you to have your kids back.
That's true.
You know, they'll try to find every excuse.
And sometimes the reality is what people don't understand, and I had to learn this. You know, I used to be like, especially if I ran into a parent, if I had a parent on my caseload that was a former foster youth like I was really hard on them, right? Because I'm like, come on now. Your mama didn't know what it was like to be in a foster home, but you do. I feel like you worse than your parents, right? That was my thing. But then I had to get to a place where I realized that when you feeling helpless, it's hard to get up and help yourself. You know what I'm saying? You wallowing in your own shit. And I had to build compassion for people around that, because for a while I was very judgmental when it came to people who were former foster youth, because I was like, we should be better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. But the reality, I'm like, why you didn't make it to your visit? Why you didn't get to such? You should have got up and walked. If it took you 3 hours to walk, you should have got up and walked. But I ain't never lost my kids. You know what I'm saying? And it took for some of my clients that our connection became so strong for them to say, you know, Tracy, sometimes it was so hard to even face my kids, to look at my kids, the thought about after the visit. They were constantly thinking about not getting to see their kids, but they were like, you don't know how hard it is to know you're going to see them and you gotta leave. I had never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? I had never thought about, oh, shit, that would be hard. Like, cause you know you're gonna be happy to see him. Cause I'm like, why aren't you excited to see your baby? You know, I went and picked your kids up and your baby's, you know, coming to see you. And that was something that once that client told me, I would find ways to bring that up with my other clients. And sometimes they said, especially my clients that were on drugs, they were like, you know, sometimes I don't come to my visits because after I go use. And I'm like, what? They're like, you don't understand that pain. It's painful. Leaving is painful. Coming is the easy part. But when I was able to understand that, then I was able to work with the parents on knowing that although it's hard for you to get up and go because you're leaving. But think about this, the more you come, the more you go see them, the more your visits are going to get increased. The more that you work your program, the more, like, I'm going to liberalize your visits. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go from seeing them those little 3 hours or 2 hours or that hour in McDonald's, and you do good. You're not being volatile. You're not acting crazy. We can go to the park with your baby. You know, we can go to Chuck E. Cheese with your baby. We could go do certain things with your baby. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, you don't have to have your visits here in the office all the time, but you got to earn that. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to put myself in danger because I have a family that I want to come home to. You know what I'm saying? And if you being real nasty to me, I'm not going to put myself in danger. So no, you're going to come here where there's security. You're going to come here where there's enough people that if you get to acting stupid, somebody's going to be there to protect me and your children. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not in the right mind to protect your children, to know to make good decisions. Obviously, that's why your kid's gone, right? But I would talk to them about, I would do what I call dream sessions with my clients. What it's going to be like when they come home. What you want to have for them. What y'all going to do? What's the first dinner you going to cook for your babies? What's the first dinner? You know, oh my gosh, what's something that you don't get to do with them right now that you want to do with them when they come home? And sometimes they get so excited as if their kids was home, right? I'm right. All right. So make sure you at your visit tomorrow. Because if you come to your visit tomorrow, we're getting closer to that. You feel what I'm saying? Because the reality is, for everything that somebody's condemning them on, they're condemning themselves too. They may not be saying it out loud. They may be showing a tough front, but they beating the shit out of themselves too. And I know that. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, I start dreaming with them. Because most people that are caught up in living a life that's not worth living, you don't dream. You talk about stuff, but you don't have no action to go behind it. Nothing to back it up. So the reality is, you get to decide. You get to decide if you want to dream. Like what you want to fix for your kids when they come home.
Oh, I'm just ready for them to come.
You can't stay there. Just imagine they at home.
I think my mama's gonna. Well, you know what? My mama's gonna cook when they come because my baby's said that she wants to see my mama when she come back because that's been taken from her, you know.
Okay, so let's go. Mama done did her cooking. The first night is just gonna.
My baby say I can't cook.
Oh, okay. So you gotta learn how to cook. Okay, okay. So maybe you're not gonna cook. What you want to have for dinner that you gonna serve them on a plate?
Probably spaghetti. They love spaghetti.
Okay, spaghetti, or maybe you order a pizza and you sit down. What y'all gonna be watching on TV?
I like to watch movies.
Okay, what movie?
Mm,
Do y'all have a special movie together yet? If
we
you
watch
don't, it's okay.
Millions, Cars, Lightning McQueen.
Okay, so then that means when you go to your visits, then you ask them what movie do you guys want mama to have, so that whenever mama gets y'all back, we can watch this movie. And then you go buy that movie. And you put that movie somewhere where you can see it. So where you can see it, where when you wake up in the morning, you can see that movie. So that on the days you don't want to go to work, on the days that you want to get on here and argue with these people, you look at that movie and you understand that, oh no, I'm not going to do this because I'm getting closer so I can watch this movie with my babies. You feel what I'm saying? We got to have things that motivate us. But a lot of us aren't taught that. So if you're not taught that and you don't know how to do that, then yeah, it's hard to see yourself beyond your situation other than just talking. But we all can talk. We can say we want to be millionaires, but if you're not doing anything to get yourself there, well, then you're just talking. If it sounds good in the moment, but it ain't nothing. It's not going to materialize into anything. Does that make sense? So now you get something that becomes a point of contact. You get something that now you can see. So when you getting ready to have a lapse in judgment, you getting ready to do something that that you know is gonna get you away from getting your kids. And let's just face it, the reality may be, I've had some clients that by the time they turned it around, right, we were already at adoption, right? I couldn't pull it back for them. That's the reality, right? Some of them became close with the person who adopted their kids to allow them to have a relationship. But let's just be real. I'm just being 100% with you, right? There were some of my clients that got their shit together and it's like, they already calling boo-boo them mom and dad and they're stable. They're thriving. You know what I'm saying? So if they're thriving, I had one of my moms come to me and tell me, you know what? I'm not going to fight anymore because my baby's happy, my baby's thriving, so I just want to be able to see my baby. I had some moms that fought to the very end, and unfortunately, they didn't win because it was too late. You know what I'm saying? It was too late. The court didn't have hopes for them. Then I had some that had more babies, right? They had another baby, and it's like, maybe you better off taking care and doing with this baby what you never did with them, because you get them back, it's going to be an uphill battle because definitely they going to have some behavior issues. That just comes with it. That just comes with it. I never reunited any kid with their parents that were out of the home for more than 2 years and they didn't come back with behavior issues, right? Because they're also not able to understand their emotions. They happy to be with their mom, but they angry at mom, right? They sad, they confused, they don't understand because it's a huge change for them. You get what I'm saying? I'm not telling you everything I'm sharing with you. I'm not telling you what you should do. You understand that, right? I'm not telling you anything that you should do. I'm just throwing out different scenarios so that you have something to work with in your mind. Do you get what I'm saying? Some of them, it was like, you know, hey, you can uproot little Timmy over there. Where Timmy's thriving and all that. But it's going to be an adjustment period for you too when your kids come home. Honeymoon period going to be cool for a good 3 months max.
I mean, it's already hard now because, you know, I was raised like back, you know, old school. That's how I was. We get whoopings. We have structure in the home. Where my boys are, they don't have structure. So they all over the place. You know, they run over their granny. So when we're doing the visits, it's really difficult because it's just like, okay, they're not listening. Okay, our mama, you know, sometimes they, you know, get it together or whatever. I ain't even gonna say both of them. It's just the youngest. He all over the place. He throwing fists now. He got to the point where he's all out on the floor.
Do you mind me asking how old is he? He's 2.
But he didn't do that though before they were removed. So
How
they
long
had
has he been gone?
they've been gone since, man, I would say my boys was gone first. So it was through a guardianship. So technically they wasn't out. And I was like getting my kids and I wasn't supposed to. But they didn't know anything about it. It got to the point where the guardian said, I don't want to be the guardian no more, right when I was finna finish my stuff. So then they dissolved it. That's what put them in the system.
Okay, and that happens a lot. A lot of times you have grandmas or family members or family friends. They tell the social worker like, yeah, I'm gonna keep the kid. We close out the case and they get a kid back to the parents. And then shit happened and boom, then the kid's back in foster care. So I know that happens. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. I used to encourage people not to do that because what you do is anything can happen. Like sometimes people used to give their get their sister's kid, and then they just like, y'all the system, whatever. I'll get out their life, and then the kids are with their mama. And the thing is, there's a reason. Even if you don't agree with child services, it's very hard to detain people's kids. And the reality is, even though you may not get the gravity of how bad your household and living situation was, we do. Because that we understand how even if you getting your ass beat, that just because you're the one getting physically beat, that it is traumatizing your children mentally and emotionally and psychologically, right? We understand that. We understand that your son witnessing you getting your ass beat, even if he's in a closet, just hearing you get your ass beat, that in 5 years, he's probably going to become very aggressive, that when he's a teenager, he has a greater chance of becoming an abuser. And that if your daughter is hearing that, then your daughter has a great chance of being abused, right? We understand that. So a lot of time parents don't get that because people are like, well, hey, he wasn't hitting them. He good to the kids. He was hitting me or whatever. But no, it's bigger than that, right? Because these are some consequences that you're not going to see until a year, 5 years, 10 years down the line. All of a sudden you're wondering why little Timmy is so angry at the world. And you like, Timmy is crazy. Timmy going off. No, when Timmy was 3 and he saw his daddy throw your ass around across the room, that's what is coming out of little Timmy. And as a childhood trauma survivor and witnessing domestic violence, I know that to be true because I have siblings who are abusers, and I also have siblings who were abused. You get what I'm saying? And they were taken out of the home at an early age, but it didn't change anything because the damage was already done. You get what I'm saying? So the reality is, no matter how bad people say, oh, that's my family and that's the system, and the system be taking people's kids away for little or nothing. They could say that, but they don't get the gravity of what's really going on. You feel what I'm saying? So they will take the kid, follow the rules while the social worker's coming out. As soon as they grant guardianship, kinship, boom, the kids are right back with mama. What they don't understand is that now you've also taught that child that they're not valuable. You taught them that authority doesn't matter. You taught them because it ends up being that the child welfare care more about the kids than the family care about the kids, because we were taking the kids away to protect them from this environment. And here you go giving them back. And that's family. So now you teach the kids to lie and to play games and to do all these things. And boom, what happens? Then now they've had how many homes where they've learned they don't have to listen, they don't have to this. So then when you come back in as mom and you say, no, you need to do this and you need to do that, they looking at you like, I know you're not trying to tell me what to do. I know you're not trying to give me no structure when I've been able to do whatever I want to do over here. You know what I'm saying? So then it becomes a tug of war between you and your kid, where it's like, are you enjoying motherhood or are you always exhausted because now you're trying to undo 2 years? So it ain't no, oh yeah, let's go have a walk in a park. You get what I'm saying? So it's not that it can't be done, but you have to be working hard on yourself while you don't have your kids to build up that capacity. Because if you get your kids back, you want to be in a place where you don't now make them responsible for you feeling inadequate as a mom, because you don't have control over them because of the decisions you made. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for you to take accountability, so that when you get your babies back, you're understanding, oh, he not listening, and I can't fault him for not listening. You know what I'm saying? My soup is off. Thank you very much. But if you don't get them back, let's say you don't, you pregnant with your baby now. The reality is, I don't know what state you're in. I'm in the state of California. I know that there has to be a nexus. You can't just because a mom lost 12 of her kids, she has a 13th kid, and you can't just say, oh, well, because she lost 12. That's not how the law works. That's not how it works legally. You have to do something or give them just cause to take the baby after the baby comes into